Hello everyone and welcome back to the SHU Sports Report. It was a busy week for the Pioneers as the basketball season kicked off and the Sacred Heart women's volleyball team is postseason bound again. So let's get it started. The women's volleyball team has been on a hot streak, dominating in the Northeast Conference. This past Saturday, the Pioneers hosted the Bryant Bulldogs at home, making it a clean sweep, winning 3-0. Led by Michaela Dole and Sarah Krufko with record kills, the Pioneers have officially been named the NEC regular season champions, and they will host the NEC tournament November 19th to the 20th. They closed out the regular season schedule on Sunday when they faced Central Connecticut State University while honoring all the seniors. It was a close call for SHU. They lost the first set 25-16, but the team regrouped and took the second set by just 3, winning 25-22. Making it a back-and-forth battle, CCSU took the third set, but SHU was determined to win out this regular season. They were able to bounce back and win 3-2. The Pioneers are now the number 1 seed in the tournament and will host the number 4 seed on Saturday at Coach Bike Court. So, Kara, basketball season is underway, and the women's basketball team had a pair of games this opening weekend. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
That's right, Diana. The reigning NEC regular season champion Sacred Heart women's basketball team tipped off their season on Friday night. SHU faced off against crosstown foe Fairfield in their season opener this past Friday night at Webster Bank Arena. The last time both teams met, Fairfield beat SHU 61-50 in a close game, so SHU was coming into this game for revenge. The Pioneers hit the court strong and were leading at the half 30-23. When it hit the fourth quarter, Fairfield brought Sacred Heart's lead down to single digits with less than 5 minutes to play. But with a great effort from Erin Stork and Kelsey Castro, SHU was able to fend off the Stags, bringing SHU's lead to 12 points. Redshirt sophomore Catherine Haynes scored a career-high 18 points in her first game back from an injury to get SHU the victory 56-44. With a great win to start the weekend, SHU had to use that energy and stay focused for their next game a few days later. That time came this past Monday when SHU took on Brown in the home opener. Hannah Kimmel recorded her first double-double of the season, leading the Pioneers with 13 points and 10 rebounds. At the half, SHU was down 40-22. Throughout the third quarter, the teams battled back and forth, but because of that, Brown maintained their large lead. When it hit the fourth quarter, SHU minimized the gap at 12, but time ran out and the game ended at 80-66 with a Brown victory. The Pioneers hit the road this weekend as they travel to Lehigh for a Saturday night showdown. We will now send it over to Aaron Burrell for this week's Coach's Corner as he sits down with women's volleyball head coach Rob Machin to talk about the Northeast Conference Championships this weekend. Aaron?
Thanks, Kara. I'm here with Coach Rob Machin, the head coach of the women's volleyball team, the 2016 NEC regular season champions and host of this weekend's NEC tournament. Thank you for joining us again this weekend, Coach.
My pleasure.
Now, you guys have had a great season, and what are some of the key things that you're focusing on getting ready for the rest of this season and the rest of this tournament?
You know, the one thing we always talk about, you want to be physically as strong as you can. You want to be healthy. Those are things that do the best we can to control as much as we can, but also kind of sharpening up certain aspects of the game to make sure that we're just ready to compete at the highest level possible. Working hard on our defensive positioning, working hard on kind of our block positioning, and just aspects like that of the game.
All right, you've posted a 13-1 conference record this season, and your only losses come to Central Connecticut, and your last time you played them, you ended in a tough 5-set win against the Blue Devils. How do you feel facing them for a third time with this time a championship on the line?
Oh, that's great. I mean, they're a very fun team to play. I think we match up well with them. They match up well with us. So they're a big blocking team. That's what they want to do. If we can keep our aggressive mindset going and keep attacking them consistently on the service line and actually with our attacks, we should fare pretty well.
One thing this team has done really well this season is pack the stands. How important will that home crowd be behind the team and an impressive bunch of seniors at this weekend's tournament?
You know, the crowds have been great. I think one of the main reasons the crowds are so good is the women are such great ambassadors on campus for the sport. I mean, in the classrooms, walking around campus and everything they do, they're just an easy group to work for. It's a fun game to watch, too. It's very entertaining. They compete very hard. So having that crowd energy, especially in our last match against Central, you know, a lot of our matches haven't been quite as close this year. That one being so tight at the end and having all that energy at the end, the crowd was just fantastic. So we're really excited about the support they give us, and things can be a big help this weekend.
Now, speaking of impressive seniors, in the last couple of weeks, both Sarah Krufka and Anna Gonzalez have cemented themselves in the SHU record books. How important are those personal accomplishments for the players and the team?
Well, the team enjoys the success of the individuals that we have because, we feel like we're the consummate team sport, or one of them for sure. You can't get a kill without a good pass. You can't get a kill without a good set, and everything that we have to do to work together to make that happen. So in Sarah's, 1,400 and some odd kills that she has, at least 3 people were involved in getting every one of those for her. So you can't do it individually. So the team really gets excited about those successes and how hard Sarah has to work and practice every day to get those kills against our own team and our B side, as we call it. Makes her a much, much better player against, she feels it's much easier for her to get kills against other teams than her own team because we work so hard in practice against her. And with Anna too, Anna's, like I said, I don't know about a better libero in our conference right now. She is just fantastic. And the one chance she gets to hit the other team is with her serve. Otherwise, she's always defending the other team. So she definitely has embraced that. I think she has twice as many aces as any other libero in the conference, and I think is 5th in the nation right now for active players. So she's enjoying that.
Oh, that's good to see. Well, thank you for taking some time out of what I'm sure is a very crazy week for you to speak with us. We wish you all the best at this weekend's tournament.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Be sure to head to the Pitt Center Saturday at 5 p.m. to cheer on the women's volleyball team in their semifinal match against CCSU. Now here's Gino Ganella with this week's Update Corner.
Thanks, Aaron. We had a lot of Pioneer sports this past week, so let's get right into it with some Sacred Heart football. The Pioneers had a tough 31-10 loss this past Saturday as they took on the Duquesne Dukes in Pittsburgh. The Dukes got on the board early in the first quarter with a 3-yard rushing touchdown from A.J. Hines. The Pioneers wouldn't get points on the board until the final minutes of the second quarter with a field goal after James Rentz recovered a fumble on the Duquesne 12. The Dukes would score 3 more times throughout the game, adding a field goal, all while holding Sacred Heart to 225 total yards. Sacred Heart's lone touchdown was a 4-yard pass from R.J. Noel to Andrew O'Neill late in the third quarter. SHU football will close out the 2016 season against Bryant with Senior Day at 12 p.m. this Saturday on Campus Field. Pioneers cross country showed their colors as Connor Rogg placed 33rd out of 245 finishers at the Northeast Region Cross Country Championships, making him the second fastest 10K runner in school history with a time of 31 minutes and 31 seconds. Kate Svensson was the first NEC competitor across the line with a time of 22 minutes and 16.2 seconds, crushing her previous time of 23 minutes and 25.7 seconds. Svensson placed 95th at the regionals. Cross country will be back on the 19th as they go to the IC4A Cross Country Championships at Van Cortlandt Park. Sacred Heart swimming and diving broke multiple records this past weekend. Kim Highland broke the 100 and 200 backstroke records and helped Jessica Poole, Brianna Cielo, and Lauren Somers break the medley relay record. In sprints, SHU claimed all 3 top spots in the 50, 100, and 100 freestyle and added 2 of the top 3 finishers in the 200 freestyle. In the distance events, Shanna Haddow took 3rd in the 500 freestyle. Along with Highland's record-breaking wins, the 100 and 200 backstrokes, Poole took home the win in the 100 breaststroke, and Cielo taking 2nd in the 100 butterfly. In diving, Sacred Heart took home the win in both the 1-meter optional and the 1-meter voluntary, finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The women's ice hockey team fell to 4-5-0 after a 4-1 loss versus St. Anselm. The Pioneers' only goal came from Olivia Bryant finding Brittany Smith to tie the game in the second period. After that, it was all St. Anselm as they scored 3 more times in the third period to close on the game in Manchester, New Hampshire. Goaltender Devin Kane had her hands full, making 32 saves as St. Anselm outshot SHU 36-21. The women's ice hockey team will be back on the Friday the 18th as they host Wesleyan at 7 p.m. Bowling finished 6th in the Warhawk Classic last Sunday in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where many of the top teams in the country were showcased. The Pioneers ended up being the 5th seed due to its overall pinfall of 9.78. SHU started bracket place by sending defending national champions Stephen F. Austin to the losers bracket with a 4-2 victory. Bowling fell short after a 4-2 loss to Nebraska and losing out to the Lumberjacks. Next up, the Pioneers head to Millsboro, Delaware for the annual UMBC Hawk Classic, November 18th through November 20th. SHU Equestrian finished as reserve high point team with 33 points behind UConn with 38 points on Sunday. Melissa Dander and Olivia Marlowe had strong rides to qualify for Hunt Seat Regionals in open, flat, and intermediate fences. Dander was the high point rider for the second time this weekend. Gina Grammarosa finished in second place in novice flat section A, while Jackie Brown finished second in intermediate flat section A. Jessica Shalou finished first in novice fences section B, as Devin Conley finished first in open fences section B. The Pioneers will be heading to Yukon on November 19th for the IHSA Hunt Seat. Men's ice hockey hosted a series this weekend to Robert Morris. On Saturday, Robert Morris downed SHU with a 4-1 victory. Robert Morris got on the board first in the second period thanks to a 5-on-3 power play opportunity. Even though the Pioneers outshot the Colonials 14-9 in the second, SHU's lone goal wouldn't come until the beginning of the third period. Jordan Manello scored off a diving pass from Evan Jasper. Unfortunately, Robert Morris rallied back in the last 5 minutes, scoring 3 goals to finish out the game. On Sunday, the Pioneers outshot the Colonials 30-16, but fell to Robert Morris 4-1. Pioneers cut the game to 2-1 early in the third period as senior Justin Danforth found Jordan Manello, who buried it in the back of the net. The Colonials rallied with 2 more goals, including an empty net goal by Alex Bonche. The Pioneers will welcome Niagara this weekend for a 2-game series. Both will be played at the Webster Bank Arena starting Friday at 7 p.m. Sacred Heart Wrestling took on the Dragons of Drexel for their first home dual meet last Friday. The Pioneers fell during a hard-fought battle 36-9. Elliot Antler snapped a 7-match losing streak, picking up a 9-4 decision. A number of takedowns led to Antler's victory, giving the Pioneers momentum as Sasha Olinik pinned his opponent in the next match. Even with those strong victories, the Pioneers fell 36-9. Wrestling hopes to pick back up on Sunday, November 20th at the Keystone Classic. Sacred Heart men's and women's fencing teams took to floor at Vassar College, combining for 11-5 during the Vassar Invitational. Women's fencing started the day off 1-3, but with a 22-5 win over Hunter, earned 4 straight wins over Fairleigh Dickinson, Yeshiva, CCNY, and Incarnate Word. The men's team rallied off 4 consecutive wins after a close 14-13 loss to Haverford, winning against Yeshiva, Army West Point, Lafayette, and Hunter. Men's fencing won another 2 matches against Drew and Incarnate Word after a 14-13 defeat against Stevens Tech. Fencing opened competition on November 19th at MIT during the Northeast Fencing Conference. That's all the time we have here at the Update Corner. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Gino. The Sacred Heart men's basketball team opened up the regular season at Webster Bank Arena last Friday against crosstown rival Fairfield University. It was a tough start for the Pioneers as the Stags took an early lead up 40-30 at the half. With many familiar faces graduating on the Pioneer side, several new faces stood out. Quincy McKnight was shooting 50% from the floor and perfect from the free throw line. He had a career high of 25 points, and 19 of those were in the second half. Joseph Lopez, one of the new Pioneers, led the team in rebounds with a total of 14. SHU had trouble making in the shots as they only shot 39.1% from the field, which resulted in an 85-63 loss. The Pioneers regrouped and regained focus between the days before they had their home opener against Hofstra University. They sure had home court advantage with a great crowd coming in to support the Pioneers. Sacred Heart needed it as they had a very hard-fought battle against the Pride. The game was neck and neck and every point counted. Sacred Heart had some major foul trouble in the first half that allowed Hofstra to get ahead and take back the lead at times. SHU went into the half down just 2 points, and when the second half started, they were still having some foul trouble, but continued to fight against this Hofstra defense. Down by 9 with about 4 minutes left in the game, Quincy McKnight cut the deficit to 7 with a layup, and then Sean Hone, who totaled 12 situational points that were key to this win, scored back-to-back 3-pointers to make it a 1-point game with 34 seconds left. Hone had a steal but was immediately fouled and sent to the free throw line for a chance to take the lead by a point. SHU took the lead and McKnight capitalized on 2 free throws to extend the lead 88-85 while reaching a new career high of 28 points. It really came down to every second as Hofstra was then fouled with second left in the game but only made 1 free throw to keep SHU ahead. Sacred Heart was able to hold on and get a win over Hofstra 90-86. They will move on to the Continental Tire Las Vegas Invitational and be back on home court December 3rd against Hartford. So, Kara, the men's soccer team had a tough game against St. Francis Brooklyn on Friday. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
That's right, Diana. The SHU men's soccer team took on St. Francis Brooklyn in the NEC semifinal on Friday afternoon. Senior Shaquille Sanchez continued to play great in his final season by leading SHU with 7 shots on the game. However, the Terriers pulled ahead by scoring the only goal of the game in the 76th minute by Dominique Falanga. On a positive note, SHU did earn 4 NEC All-Conference selections on Thursday. The day before the game, senior forward Shaquille Sanchez earned all NEC team selection, senior captain Julian Link earned all NEC second team, and a pair of freshmen, Oscar Carras and Robert Strain, were selected to all rookie team. The Pioneers ended their season 5-11-2 and 3-4 in the NEC. That's all we have for this week. Check back with us in 2 weeks. Be sure to come cheer on the Pioneers at home this weekend. For Diana Canizero, Aaron Burrell, and Gino Ganello, and myself, Cara Levine, have a great Thanksgiving next week, and go Pios!